sunshine hides behind cloudy skies outside, and now's the time. Devout to fight the unappealing. It's been raining for 6 weeks and there's a leak in the ceiling. My poor friend me, not like the whiskey is force feed. I got 40 adorable whores at my door to escort me. Life is good, so I step my knife into the woods, typing the right from the should and clean my pipes into your hood. It's a lonely road back to my own abode. In the moment slows, flowing through the whole of my soul. Oh no, hope floats through the troposphere like the clouds of dope we smoke this year, rolling out of focus in a broken mirror. I wish Vic was here so we can sip a beer, shoot this shit about the hold back the tears, fucking furious. Ever since I can't take anything serious, pissing in the rain cause I drank myself to those fizz while the dominoes tip. Mama knows this. I don't know shit. Girl, you're a mess.
How's everyone doing? Ooh. Oh boy. Who's ready? I am. This guy is ready to work.
I ain't going off some goddamn fancy college. I'm staying right here, having fun as usual.
It's 2006 and we flipped through many pages. Spread my life across the so I could catch my breath.
If an audio
is
out of balance in any way, I really don't have much in the way of monitoring. I mean, so like, just so you know, this is my mixer. So I really just get information whether signal is going out. Theoretically, it should also show when things are clipping, but it's kind of the same as just showing when things are going out. So yeah, and also technically I've got this stuff here, but you know I can't really watch that as things are going on. So just let me know. To everybody watching next in the archives, hello. You're late. Sorry. But we have chat. Which, if you happen to catch this live, it's not a regular thing, but if you happen to catch it live, I can fix that. I can pump me up. And actually, I should probably tone down music just a little bit. If you happen to catch me live, you can chat over at diamondclub.tv. Yeah. Coming through 5 by 5. I don't know what that means. That's the network that DLC's on, right? But yeah, when I was doing the Gods Will Be Watching stream the other day, I felt really bad because listening back through it, my mic was hot like the entire time. It really needed to be toned down, so it's a little bit quieter. Yeah. Okay. So let's start editing stuff. Hold on. Fade out, fade out, fade out, fade out, fade out. There we go. Oh. I have myself open. What an amateur. You can just hear billions of echoes. If you happen to catch me live, you can chat. Really, at least 3 instances of myself. Okay. Now, we have the unnerving silence. Hold on. Yep, okay. Excellent. Now, let's get started. I'm probably not going to narrate a ton of stuff going on here, but if you guys have any questions, I am willing to answer them. SkillsCat, Google it. I'm in the middle of a thing here. 5 by 5. I'm coming in 5 by 5. Okay, cool. So that's good. It looks like that's a good thing. I'm gonna take your word that that's a good thing. I'll read it later. I got work to do. All right. So let's do stuff. I guess I will narrate a little bit just at the beginning here. I've already started stand-ups, So I've got stand-ups, worked on the episode at all. So we'll get a little taste of that. And by a little, I mean a very large taste of that. Alamo Henry, any questions? What am I holding in my hand, Gadwag? You'll understand I'm quite reluctant to answer that question. And I think you know why. Don't make me answer that question. Oh yeah, and I just realized this is effectively my first editing stream since this nice Premiere Adobe stuff's been updated. It all has this kind of I don't know if the dark theme comes default. I've always used a dark theme, but it's got this neon blue kind of style to it now, which is super nice.
You're that drunk that you can't remember which one's on top.
If it's correct.
Yeah.
See what happens if you're correct, then I'll just go ahead and use my credit card and pay for the.
We're just playing around. Yeah.
Yeah, it's nothing. All right.
Okay, that was Bryce's post-show take, where he was like, "Are you okay? I think we need to restart." No, it's fine. It's okay, Bryce.
You're an I, right?
I mean, yes.
Yeah.
Dude.
I
We are back with Matt Dillahunty, one of the most talented magicians I know. We
The blue
also
update,
have
yeah.
Lindsay and Kim, and
You know, it's crazy. Everything's been going blue lately. I love it. All the Adobe stuff is going blue. I feel like Twitter just updated. I mean, not just updated, but during its last update, like it really kind of had an emphasis on blue. There's something else. A lot of people are going blue. I dig it.
okay, no. That's
Banana.
But in this calendar exercise, there are different dates that people.
Okay. That is what we are looking for. So, Bryce, what happened there? Did you just think that the episode was still going after you stopped it or whatever? If it makes you feel any better, I think Zach still thought there was stuff to grab. He was still recording things, and I was like, dude, we're done. I don't think you were alone in thinking that there was still stuff. Rick Foster, is MTS superior to MP4 for editing? MTS, I don't know. I mean, they both seem fairly exactly the same to me as far as just the editing process. I don't notice any difference when I'm going back and forth between the two. MTS is just the format that our Lumix GH2s capture footage in and encode into. So I don't really re-encode any of our stuff for editing. So I don't know. Oh, that's funny. Jaime was giving you a sign to keep recording. I don't know, maybe. I think it was a little confusing for a lot of people. Because, he went on to... And I was like, what is going on? This is a trick I found out. I think I learned this once before. It's super helpful. But I seem to use it. But just if you drag it in and you hold Command, it pushes everything back. Which is so helpful. And it's taken me how many years to figure that out? Well, I guess a year and a half. Sea Killer, random guy. Am I editing on a Mac or PC? What are the specs? I'm editing on a Mac. Let me bring up the specs real quick. there you go. It's my MacBook Pro. Yeah, I've kind of always edited on a Mac. I have a PC right here, right there. So I'm Omni OS, if you will. But yeah, I've always just really liked editing stuff on my Mac. My Macs, macking it up. Big macking. Oh, hey Sign. Yeah, I'm editing Scam School. If you want to stick around and watch me work, that's cool. If you don't, I don't blame you. Because it's work. You could go back to like making video games and stuff like a cool guy would.
Welcome to the only show that ever fooled Abraham Lincoln with the card trick. Unless that was a hallucination. That might have been a hallucination. Scam School, the only show dedicated to social engineering at the bar and on the street. Hello, beautiful people. I'm Brian Brushwood, and this week we are back with Matt Dillahunty, who shows that you can perform mental miracles with nothing but a calendar. What?
By the way, just a quick little meta commentary. This week, so we ran like really last minute with the stand-ups. We ended up shooting these yesterday, 2 days ago. I don't know. I have no concept of time anymore. But recently, and we had to shoot it at night because that's all our schedule allowed. And so we mounted one of our flow lights on top of the camera. And the stand-ups, we use a glide cam through the whole thing. So it totally threw off all of the balancing. I had to go find weights and attach them to the glide cam, and it was super heavy. But it looks pretty good, all things considered. This was the first episode we shot of the night, and I think these shots are the weaker of the episodes. But you'll notice probably for like the next 5 episodes or so, we'll have these night stand-ups, and they ended up looking pretty good.
With us, this awesome
This shot looked pretty good.
Make sure to check out his YouTube channel and his Patreon as well. And of course, you and me should be best friends.
For some reason, I expected more of like almost a flashlight-esque like light drop off on it. And apparently, if you guys aren't aware of this, Matt Dillahunty, who was in, I want to say last week's episode, the one with the keys, the key tower, and he's also in this episode. And he's got himself some fans. People are like super pumped to see Matt on the show. It's kind of unprecedented. I say unprecedented. I'm just not familiar with Matt's work. So it's just like, I don't know, it's a guy. There we go. Wait, what? What is... Are these the same file? Master shot. These are the same file. What is even happening? There was some weird stuff with SkillsCat. Yes, I am one of the camera operators, and I'm editor. I guess technically, I like to think of myself as the second unit director. Right, because I'll do a little bit of on-set direction when I need to, but I'll also end up shooting everything else that's not just the primary episode. But yeah, I'm one of the handheld camera operators, and Zach is the other usual handheld camera operator. But we have a group of people who show up to effectively every Scam School shoot. So if somebody's out and missing, so this is Zach's shot, and then that's my shot. I went with the super tight shot this episode, which proved tricky for reasons that will be seen. What was I was saying something before. Whatever. Sea Killer Random 50146. You could go LED panels and hold the panels at the same time so it won't throw off the balance of the glide cam. We have done that sometimes, but I am typically also the one running sound when it comes to stand-ups. It's just Brian and myself. So I have sound on my back. I have headphones on, so I'm monitoring sound as I'm shooting with the glide cam. So in a situation like this, that's not entirely possible. Although I do want to say it was this past week's episode where we also did a night stand-up. And it was, and we had a second person holding the flow light. So yeah, those are LED panels, so they're pretty small, but they're tough to carry. Yeah. So for like this, we had this past week's episode, we had Zach over here off camera, and he was helping out with sound and lighting, but typically it's just Brian and myself. As far as your following question, how long does it take to shoot an episode, and do we shoot multiple in a night? I'll start with the last question. Yes, we shoot multiple episodes in a night. Typically it's we'll do 2 or 3 depending on how many we need. In a pinch, we can do 4 or 5, which we were doing week after week of 4 episodes or so per night. Back when Brian was about to go out to LA for his TV vacation. And we just needed a billion episodes, so we were shooting 4 in a night. Now we have a much more relaxed schedule of 2 to 3, depending on just how we're feeling that night. Yeah, and then we also shoot all of the stand-ups in an afternoon, typically. How long does it take to shoot one episode? It depends on the episode. Some episodes are super quick, and they'll be like this episode. This episode took 20 minutes to shoot, probably 10, 15 minutes to set up beforehand. And then once we were done, we just moved on to the next episode. Some episodes get a little bit more complicated, and especially if there's like a confusing process that takes us a long time to get just right. That episode can be 40 minutes to shoot and still about 10 to 15 to set up beforehand. And then we just cut down the episode from 20 to 40 minutes down to 8 to 12 minutes, typically speaking. Yeah, it can be a lot of work to handle all at once. But somebody's got to do it. And it's not going to be Brian. Yeah, so I'm sure I mentioned this previously, but I almost always offset video 1 to 2 frames before the audio, just so that way for syncing purposes it typically syncs a little bit better, because I use the multicam auto syncing stuff, but I like it a little bit quicker than it actually should be. I'm trying to remember the keyboard command. Hey, Anthony Carboni favorited my tweet. Good, because I was proud of that tweet. No, it's not this workspace. Well, thank you for the questions, Sea Killer. I always appreciate when anybody is interested.
Plunger's gonna look through your card now. What was your card?
3 of clubs.
Right there.
Yeah. That's cool.
So awesome.
All right. So, here, let's all cozy up. Everybody kind of cuddle up here at the end.
We've broken the ice.
Yes, thank you for that.
My
That
pleasure.
was awesome.
Normally I just kind of like read people's minds. I might have to use it for this because this is a bit of mind reading too.
We slate.
Oh, there you go. Love it.
Slated.
By the way, for every episode that I'm in, I want you to change your slate sound to that sound of that crash.
All right. I'm so excited.
Double went down to Georgia in the background.
That's right.
Are you an EY or an
It's interesting. So you shoot, you shoot the kind of more narrative productions and stuff. I got the same impression from having a chat with Ryan Connolly, that it's very much a different beast. I mean, I've done a little bit of short film stuff here and there, but yeah, this style of production is very different.
Right. So it's like a bro wide line or
I'm the guy. You're an eye, right?
yes.
Yeah. I do it. I like the eye behind it.
All right, that's what matters.
So one of the things that's going to happen, because this is, I'm going to get them started, and then I'm going to actually turn my back on them so that I can't see anything. So I'll just run out a little bit as I do it. And all the viewers will just have to trust that I actually can't see what's going on.
Good night, Big Jim.
All right, here we go. Let's toast.
Oh, that's cool. You're from the Florida area, I assume? It's crazy. Connolly moved basically in like a 15, 20-minute drive from where I used to live right before I moved out here to Austin. What you doing, man?
Today is the best.
Cool. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Austin is definitely bustling with a bunch of opportunities for a bunch of people, which I didn't really realize to the extent of which until I moved out here. But Dallas also has a bunch of stuff, which is where Connolly's at now. I'm pretty sure he moved there for work opportunity stuff. Sorry about that. No, he's in Dallas now. Brian and I are out in the Austin space. But yeah. Is Saloon 2 L's? I think it might be 1. Man, I don't know. It's a weird word. Yeah, I hear a lot of stuff's going on in New Orleans. I believe that's where good old pal Dan Trachtenberg is shooting his feature film with Bad Robot right now. Yeah, I know, right? Like I'm so happy I got to meet Dan before he blew up and became a big movie star director man. Yeah, Dan's cool. It was kind of astounding. I was so impressed because I met Dan and Andrew Main at the same time, and Peter Soretta from Slash Film, and Dan recognized me like when we met, which is the weirdest thing. It was somebody who just like watched TRS every week for years and didn't have a whole lot of communication. It was very, very surreal. But yeah, he's fantastic. I'm so glad he's getting work. I'm kind of bummed why The Last Man fell through, but you know, I'm sure he's going to be just fine. He's going to have plenty of work. Really neat. Yeah, dropping names. Well, you know, it's one of the few times I get to. And I don't mind dropping names if it's something I'm really happy and excited about. And I was really happy that Andrew knew who I was. That was kind of weird as well. As somebody who at that time was just like, hey, I watched a whole bunch of weird things. But yeah, that was a good time. That's the I saw that Tom was at that New York meetup. I think who I know is from chat room, somebody who I see on Twitter sometimes, Facebook sometimes. Someone else was there who I talk to every now and then, and that seemed like a real fun time because Tom is legitimately one of the best people ever alive in the history of humanity. So any chance any of you get to meet him is like your best chance of being just your best chance of being. Like, that's kind of it. Alright, now I have to actually... Yeah, alright, it's just 1L. You met Tom Merritt's beard. Yeah, no, I don't doubt that his beard can carry a conversation of its own. You know, sometimes I worry that it's more legend than reality at this point. Just because how could you even possibly... How could you possibly that stature? But sure enough, every now and then there's the rare sighting of it. Out. Not feeling it.
Today is the best ever.
Classic Brian. Today is the best day on the history of the planet Earth. I'll be right back. Turn on the AC. It's hot in here. It's mad hot up in this faux studio edit bay bedroom.
Today is the best ever.
Are we streaming now? Hello? Alright, it looks like we're streaming now. My internet cuts out sometimes at night. It used to not do that. It does that now. It really sucks. Anyway, let's get back to these hot edits. All night, bringing the edit. All you missed was there was some calendar stuff. It's fine. You'll figure it out. I'm gonna go through it a billion times.
Alright, there we go. You got it. Okay. What I need to know is how many Sundays left. How many Sundays left? Zero. Just one. And Friday. Four. That's it. Now, based on all of that, I can tell already Monday, either Saturday. That's right. So, your focus is really on the end of the week. Yeah. That's and the number that you put up with, is it 84? Yes, 84.
Alright, so that's gonna end up being edited down to what, like 2 minutes? 3 minutes maybe? Somewhere in that range. Right now it's at 5.5. Hey, there's me. Are we still good? Or is it still kind of crazy on the stream? I'm showing all good output, but I just want to make sure. All right. This specifically is tough because the lens I'm using is an 85mm prime, so it's kind of telephotoed in a little bit, but it's not a zoom lens, so it's locked in there, and the minimum focus distance is not very close. So if you look right here, like from there to there, that is the minimum focus distance. Like it is pulled all the way back as close to the lens as it can. So it's not always perfect for these close-up shots. All right, good night, Bull in chat. Just gonna delete that. There's a little bit of attribution stuff in there, a little bit of masked magician stuff, which if you're at all familiar with the magic community, you can imagine magicians have thoughts on the masked magician. Spoiler alert. It's a hell of a transition. stop down the stream real quick and then restart it. I don't know why Quassle's freaking out. Oh, that's why. There we go.
Alright. Still hunting.
Okay. Mooncat says it's on. That's all I need to hear. Yeah, I mean, all my stuff shows that it's outputting it correctly. But I just can't seem to load up the stream. Okay. Back to work. It looks like it's back. Okay. I'll trust you. All of you people that it is actually back. Okay. So it looks like it's not back. Hold on.